Hello everyone, welcome. This is David from Affordable Staff and I have here with me
Damien
and
from Affordable Staff, and we've got Sarah here from Melbourne Property Managers. So welcome along, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today to have a bit of a chat about your experience in working with us. Yeah.
So why did you decide to outsource? How did you get into outsourcing?
Well, I started outsourcing about 12 months ago now.
Yes.
I was at the PPM conference in Queensland and Affordable Staff were there.
Yes.
I remember it well. I've got to say, I actually remember it really, really well.
Yes. So I was totally against it at the start, to the point where I actually told Damien here to off. I'm not interested at all.
Just give me a stamp. That's all
all
I was good for.
But then as I kept walking past and I remember going, that's really interesting, but no. And then I listened to the panel that was on and it was just business leaders that had been using outsourcing and how great it was for them. And you could just tell that everything they were saying was just coming straight from them. They were so raw with their examples and everything, and that completely turned me around. Hearing it from them and how amazing it actually can be was completely fabulous. And I actually went back to Damien and got a VA starting within 24 hours from that.
Yeah. So you've had your one person now, you've got another person?
Yes, we've just had Crystal start with us probably a week ago.
Okay.
So we got Shine.
Yeah.
So we got Shine and Crystal now.
Yeah, I've got two now.
Yes. You got two now? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ira, when you're watching this footage, please insert B-roll of of the team members. I'm not going to remove that.
You're not going to remove that.
No, keep going.
But, so trust is an important factor. And that was, I suppose, you saw us literally. The first time I met you was, I think, Sunday morning at the conference.
Yeah.
And by Monday afternoon,
you
were going, hey, let's do business.
Yeah.
So, why'd you choose us? And was that trust thing an important factor? And how did we build that trust with you in those couple of days?
Yeah, it was a huge amount of trust that you need to have, especially from a trust accounting point of view, and everything that is on our database all in the one thing, I guess.
Yes, one location.
Exactly. So listening to everyone at PPM and also talking to you guys at the booth, and also talking to the girl who was on the other side of the computer screen.
Jackie.
Yeah, that was really great. And the thing that got me over the edge was the security that you go through when you're picking your VAs.
Yes.
So what I was really impressed was that Shine came with a disc profile. I felt like I knew her before I'd even spoken to her.
Yes.
I got a copy of her interview, and the security behind everything as well was really impressive. So that's what pushed me over the edge.
Did you see the footage of our visit recently to the
Philippines?
I did, yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but everyone was wearing a lanyard. We have a guy who stands at the front who won't let you in unless you have a lanyard.
That's awesome.
He doesn't have a firearm at this stage, but
he wouldn't let me in. I was wearing an Affordable Staff shirt.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't have a lanyard on. It was in my bag.
Yeah. So multiple levels of security.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's because we understand we work with a number of different industries, including real estate and property management, and security is paramount, especially when you're dealing with people's actual data, people's information. So it's important to keep that secure.
Definitely.
Go for it. No, actually, go for it. Because the next question I'm going to ask you is, do you think outsourcing's taking jobs away from Australian staff in the property management world? Because it's a big fear that I'm seeing in the chat rooms.
Yeah.
Big fear I find when I'm going out talking to people is, how do I replace my current team? Do you think that's happening?
To be honest, if you look at it black and white, you are taking away from jobs in Australia, but you're also giving people the opportunity to have a stable job in the Philippines or wherever you choose to outsource. And I think that's really important as well. We were actually hiring 2 assistant property managers at the time that I was at PPM. So what I ended up doing was hiring one VA. So we hired Sunshine.
Yep.
And then I also hired one onshore staff assistant. But the thing I found as well is going through that interviewing process and finalising someone in Australia, I was really impressed with Sunshine and her work ethic her willing to learn, and I think that it's a massive cultural difference, and I think that as much as I might get scolded for saying it, I think it keeps the Australians on their toes a little bit with just what comes out of the Philippines. Like Sunshine is incredible. Absolutely amazing. She does everything. She doesn't complain about it.
Yes.
She's wanting to learn. All she wants to do is learn more and more and more. And I think that is, really great.
And do you think in Victoria, or let's say specifically in Melbourne, that burnout of property managers is still a big thing?
Huge.
Yes.
Huge, definitely. And the best thing about Sunshine is that the team downstairs that we've got can leave at 5 o'clock or leave at 5:30 because they're not stuck with the mundane tasks of entering tenancies and doing lease renewals and chasing everything and all of that sort of thing, because it's all done for them.
Yes.
So they can come in at 8:30, they can have a lunch break, they can leave at 5.
And how was it beforehand? Were they working
long hours?
Yeah, because I know Damien, coming from the industry, that was a big thing that you had as well.
Big thing. It seems to be one of the most common things when we're doing these chats.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're finding
definitely.
That's, I don't know how you put a dollar value on that, but the staff are coming on time, going on time, and have you found? Have you found retention's increased, or?
To be honest, our clients are happier because they get more communication with our property managers, our onshore ones, because they're not, having to enter in all the details. Instead of doing that, they're calling the landlord, going, your tenant's signed and paid. We're doing this, and this, and then in the background, Sunshine is adding everything in there, so they don't have to do any of that anymore.
Yes.
So how are your local team with Sunshine? And now Crystal?
Yes. So initially when I first came back from the conference in Queensland, there was a lot of pushback on it, because especially I think in Melbourne, you don't hear about it a lot. I didn't even know it was a thing before I met you in Queensland. So, and because they weren't able to be at the conference to listen to all of the fantastic things that were there, I did struggle a little bit. Yeah. However, once Shine started and was so efficient, they were shocked with how on the ball she was, and they said that Sunshine surprises a team downstairs every day.
Yes.
With what she's doing.
Yeah. Is there anything you would approach differently, going back and doing it again, implementing it?
I mean, I'd always like to say yes, because I always think you can learn from anything.
Yes.
And I think that perhaps maybe, I don't know, I would have liked to have been able to give her more in the start. I found that I've been giving her a lot more now, and I feel like I've sort of wasted 6 months because I've started giving her a lot more now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably the only thing, working out exactly like a list of what you can give to them.
I'm working through a process. But like I find when I'm working with clients, though, the first 3 months is almost a discovery period for the client. And then they get to month 3, month 4, and they sort of go, okay, everyone's bedded in, everyone's on board, the local team's happy. I've addressed the issues that I need to address to. Now I can start expanding what that offshore team's doing for me. And that seems to be pretty common across a lot of the clients we're working with. So what's the biggest difference that's made to your business?
Time, less stress, straightforward tasks. Amazing. Just biggest difference would be just the fact that the property managers can actually talk to their landlords.
That time to dance off now.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
And just going back to it, because we sort of touched on it, and then we sort of avoided it, maybe out of, I'm not sure. So for you, it meant that you didn't actually put a local staff team member on. You did, instead of 2, it was 1 and then another support person.
Correct.
And then overall in your business, it's assisted with with time.
Correct.
For the business. Have you noticed any direct financial gains around the increase in your rent roll or any of that sort of stuff?
So we don't have a BDM, and we're not looking at growing at the moment, mainly just for reasons. Yeah. So when we do get new business calls in, we definitely action them and all of that sort of thing. But for growth, the VA Sunshine has really been more stable for our current team that we've got.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so help maintain exactly what you have now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's what's the average drop-off rate of properties every year?
About 10%.
About 10%.
We have a lot of sales at the moment as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So, finally, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking at outsourcing within your industry?
Do it. Just do it. Literally.
In the words of Nike.
Just do it. Just do it. You're never going to know unless you don't, it's scary, and it is, and I was scared, but once you look into it and work out what they can do, I would always chat to other people that already have them. So even setting up like a buddy system or anything like that they can actually come in and see what the VA does, see how they get trained, because I didn't know you could do Zoom and share the screen and all of that sort of thing. That was fantastic because Sunshine, literally, whenever I teach her something, she'll just rewatch it if she has any questions.
And that was a big thing when we were overseas, that when all the clients all came together, it was like a massive amount of brainstorming when they all were there and talking together. That might be something we should look at as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you, Sarah.
No worries.
Yeah, really do appreciate it. See, that was painless. And thank you very much. This is David again from Affordable Staff, and Damien and Sarah. And thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.